So I'm just gonna show you how to actuate this light. So there's this pressure pad right here. You just hold it like that and you pull the trigger. I think we're good. Cut the video. Hey. Oh, hey. Check out what I did to my revolver. What is going on, my beautiful LARPers and LARPettes? Today we're going to go over this monstrosity right here. I wasn't gonna originally do a video on this. I posted it on my Instagram and I had tons and tons of people asking what the hell is even that?
What the hell is even that?
And I even had people saying, hey, I'm interested in doing something like that to my revolver, and what's even on it? What upgrades or what attachments do you have on there? Before I get into all the details on this thing here, what is my relationship with Colt? Colt did not send me this firearm. I did purchase this from Atlantic Firearms, which is the channel sponsor, by the way. They do have a lot of cool pews, including Colt Pythons, on their website. So go ahead and check them out and give them a follow on Instagram and on YouTube. YouTube has been deleting their channel like quite a bit, so go and support those guys. But I did purchase this from Atlantic Firearms. Empire PBF, which is some of these upgrades on here, did send the upgrades out to me, and Strike Industries did send me a part as well. But let's get into the Colt Python itself. I did have this Colt Python for about maybe a year now or so, something like that. This is the 2020 version of the Colt Python. This one I absolutely fell in love with. You probably, if you're here from the 1911 Syndicate channel, I did a video, top 5 guns that I would kind of, I guess my top 5 guns that I would take out of a burning building or something like that. But this was one of them, not this one in particular. Let me actually pull out the one that I am really fond of. Now this one right here is in the original box. This is a 1971 Colt Python in beautiful condition. I hardly like to take this guy out of the safe just because I want to keep it as pristine as possible. I don't even feel right touching it right now, even though I own it. But this is a beautiful 1971 Colt Python. Beautiful bluing on it, no scratches on it whatsoever that I can find. The grips are still in amazing condition. Again, guys, this is going to be my collector's piece, and hopefully my kids will pass it down to their kids, and it'll stay in the family for as long as possible. But this is the one that I am very fond of. This is the one that I would never do something like this to. This was more for fun. I just wanted to do it because, hey, why the hell not, right? So as far as this Colt Python goes in front of me, I'm not going to get too much in the details of it, but I am going to give you guys a little bit of an update on the round count that I have through it and how I feel about this one here. So I think I actually have around 800 rounds through this, but with the updates that I put on there, I have around like 300. So not a ton of rounds through it, but within those 800 rounds, even before I put these parts on there, I have been having an issue where, let me double check again, where when I pull the trigger, only sometimes, it's kind of hit and miss on when it happens, but when I pull the trigger, it kind of binds up. Like I'll pull the trigger and it'll like stay stuck right there. So I can kind of yank on that trigger as hard as I can and it will not fire. It'll stay stuck like that. So I don't know if there's a sear that's not, that's binding up or something inside of there, or I don't know. You guys that are more revolver experts, have you ever had something like that where you kind of pull the trigger and it just will not fire for whatever reason? Sometimes it even does it with the action itself. When I'm trying to pull it into single action, you can even see right there, look, I didn't even touch nothing and it's like binding before I even, there it goes. So I don't know what's going on, but it is pretty annoying that right out of the box it was having that little issue there. I don't know if I want to send it into Colt or if I want to just open it up and see if there's just something in there that I can oil up or maybe polish up a little bit myself. But those of you experts in the comments, go ahead and drop something down below on what you think that issue is. But other than that, I am a huge fan of the Colt Python. From The Walking Dead to all the other iconic movies that it's ever been in, I've absolutely fell in love with it. This has been my dream revolver. Well, this one here has been my dream revolver for a very long time. The lockup is great when I'm locking up the cylinder. The trigger is probably the best double action, single action trigger that I've ever shot out of a revolver. The single action is extremely nice, and the double action is very nice as well. So I like this one just because it kind of forces you to stop right at the wall before you fire. So it's very predictable when you're going to fire that double action off. So if I didn't want to give that full on pull to the rear, I can go ahead and stop there and pull, stop there and pull, stop there and pull. Hopefully I'm not pissing too many of you off with this whole dry firing, but don't blame me for those issues that I was having before because it just started doing that right out of the box. But enough of the details on the Colt Python. There's plenty of videos out there on YouTube that you can look at. But starting with the top rail and the compensator, that is by a company called Empire PBF. And they make this top rail and compensator combo, and they make it for the 3-inch version, I believe it's the 4-inch, and then this 6-inch right here. The way it installs is you put this top rail on and it takes place of your front and rear sight. So you take off your rear sight, take off your front sight. This back portion of the 1913 rail has a hole on top where you can screw directly into where your rear sight was. Then on the front here, you put on this compensator and it screws in right in the front where the front sight was. The bottom portion here, this metal looking futuristic piece here, is by Strike Industries. So this part here actually goes onto their SMC, which I'll pull out right now so you can see how it actually looks on the SMC. Strike Industries sent me the longer piece that I was supposed to put on here, but I had other plans, so I put it on this revolver here and I reversed that piece. So this piece isn't even supposed to go this way. I just reversed it because it'll look cooler this way, and I put it in this position here, which I think sets this build off a little bit more. And I put this Streamlight Pro Tac light on the bottom here, and this top portion is kind of ridiculous, but that's what I was going for this build, is making a ridiculous build. But there's no practicality for this light being on here, or this light switch being on top here, because there's no way that you can hold that and shoot it. Maybe you can, but the gases coming out of there and slapping your hand, I wouldn't recommend it. So technically, if you really wanted to use this light, I would just tap that on button and use it like a normal flashlight with a clicky cap. This doesn't even need to be on there, but I don't have a clicky cap for the back of this, so it is what it is. But it just makes it look more tactical, futuristic, right? I also have a Primary Arms RS10 on here, so just a normal little red dot that looks extremely nice on there, but you can put essentially any red dot that has a 1913 adapter that you can put on a 1913 rail. Now I'm going to take off this Strike Industries mount so that way you can see how that piece comes from Empire. But before I do that, I want to show you the weight so you can get a gist of how heavy this thing is now. You're sitting around 3 pounds, 13 ounces for this hand cannon. So aside from all that Strike Industries shroud and light BS, this is how it comes from Empire PBF when you install it And the way you install it, again, it takes place of your front and rear sight. But at the front here, you do have two little screws that mount onto these clamps here, and these clamps mount onto the top rail, and this comp super solid fit. It doesn't wiggle or move around anywhere, so don't be worried about that shifting on you or anything. But I would 100% recommend putting some Loctite of some type on all of these screws that come with it, just in case. You don't want to have any mistakes happen. But on the bottom here, you do have a little 1913 section here. So when I put on the light, it just looked a little goofy in my eyes. I mean, I don't know if you want to see if this whole thing is goofy as it is, but I think this is a really cool setup as it is, because it would actually be a little bit more practical than just having a normal Colt Python. You can put on a red dot. Everybody is running red dots nowadays, and that in itself, just being able to mount a red dot of some type onto your revolver is a huge upgrade in my eyes. And the performance that you're getting out of the compensator is actually really nice as well. So when I'm shooting 38 specials, I can't really tell as much as compared to without the compensator. It does feel slightly less recoil or less muzzle flip, but when you're shooting 357 Magnums, you can definitely tell with all that gas kind of bursting out of the front of that, it definitely helps keep that muzzle down with those 357 Magnums. But aside from that, guys, will the Blade Runner gun or the Fallout gun, what do you want to call it? Blade Runner or Fallout? Because I think this is kind of Blade Runner-ish. But will this gun save you from an alien invasion? Hell no. I don't think really any gun will save us from an alien invasion, just because I feel if there are aliens out there, I don't think the human race is going to take down extraterrestrial beings with their revolvers or AR-15s when we're going up against these things with plasma guns. But maybe we can trick them with one of these to hesitate to maybe putting one in their dome and taking their plasma guns and using it against them. If I was an alien and saw a human with one of these in their hands, I would be like, what the hell is that? What kind of drugs are you taking? Let me get the hell out of here, because this guy is ready to die. But yeah, this thing is absolutely ridiculous looking. It's extremely fun though. I had a lot of fun shooting this thing, and it does get a lot of reaction out of people, and a lot of people actually like the way this looks. So if you're one of those people that like the way this thing looks and want to upgrade it like this, I mean, it is fully functional other than this top light portion here. This thing, Strike Industries little whatever the hell it is, I don't know what it's called, but this Strike Industries piece here is extremely solid. But the compensator and the rail are definitely a worthy upgrade for the Colt Python if you wanted to get an optic on there and run a lot more 357 Magnum through it. But there's nothing wrong with your good old classic Colt Python, right? I mean, look at this thing. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I would never do something like this to this gun. But yeah, guys, if you're interested in making your Colt Python here, but you're too afraid of doing it because you're afraid of pissing off your FUD friends, go ahead and piss off your FUD friends. It's the future. You got to make your guns look more futuristic and have fun with them. That's the most important part, is to always have fun. I am definitely going to keep this 2020 Colt Python like this, so that way I could go out to the range and pull this out and have a lot of people looking and say, what the hell is that? Or saying, can I shoot it? Because a lot of people want to shoot this thing. But thank you all so much for sticking around. I appreciate you all. Love you all. Catch you in the next one.